Shadow Throne is a game that's on Kickstarter right now. It's a drafting game for 3 to 5 players, and it's about manipulating different powers that are vying for control over the city. The game plays about 30 to 40 minutes and features primarily well drafting, like I said. It's interesting because the players aren't controlling individual factions, no, instead you're just playing cards to affect these factions who are just people that are out there. These 3 factions are either the rebels, the royalty, or the church. And you can find more information about the 3 factions and like their backstory on the Kickstarter website. Rounds of Shadow Throne take place over 4 waves, so 4 waves in every round. These waves are when you play individual cards. So what happens is, at the beginning of every round, you have 6 cards, maybe more, to pick from. And you pick one, and then you pass your hand to the left, standard drafting style. And then once this goes around and everybody has picked their cards, you will take your hand of cards, some that you picked and one that you got stuck with, and you'll play them. You will play one every wave, and there are 4 waves. Everybody plays their cards simultaneously, everybody flips their cards simultaneously, and then everybody resolves the cards simultaneously. What you do is there's a symbol on each card that says how much honor is given to a certain faction, and then there's another symbol that says at the end of the round, if that faction is the winner, how many victory points you will have for having that card in front of you. And then there's also a cost. Some cards give you money to play, some cards cost you money to play. Also, if you played somebody that was in a faction that didn't win and they have a little like surrender flag on them, you get however many coins are in the little surrender flag thing. So sometimes there's a bonus to playing a card that you know will probably not win if it has one of those little surrender flags. In addition to these basic attributes of the cards, there also might be text at the bottom of the card that happens in either phases 1, 2, or 3 of each wave. And it's just an order of operations thing. So all the 1 abilities trigger, then the 2, then the 3. Play like this continues for the 4 waves of every round until someone scores 15 victory points, which can take a few rounds, can take more than a few rounds. It really depends on the spread and how people are playing after each round. So let's go back a little bit. These cards that you play that have abilities, those abilities generally have something to do with the type of faction that you're playing for. For example, the church is really good at converting other members. The rebels are really good at getting help from each other. And the royalty is really good at, well, killing people. Killing is important. So if one of your cards dies during the wave or later, he doesn't get you victory points at the end of the round. He also doesn't count for honor if he's dead at the end of the wave. So trying to keep your guys alive is important, but at the same time trying to kill other people's guys is also important, because if you're trying to get red to go really high up, you don't want yellow guys also going up with you, because then it'll be a neck and neck balance. This is where the 1, 2, 3 comes into effect on these cards. So the actions that have 1s go first. So maybe you kill all the common people, and then you kill all the elites, and then you kill all the noblemen. Something that first frustrated me, and then I actually enjoyed, because it made the decisions that you were making so much more important and significant, and not just about, well, what's best in my hand right now. You really had to plan out future turns and future rounds. This planning and not playing what might be best right now, but what might be better in the future, is also seen at the end of every round, because any cards that you didn't play, you get to pick one of them before you discard the rest, and that one will carry over with you into the next rounds. That's Shadow Throne. That's basically how you play. There's obviously some more interesting finite bits about how characters interact, and there's a lot of strategy that can be had through these interactions, which is what makes Shadow Throne an interesting drafting game, in my opinion. You're not focusing on your score, you're not doing anything for you specifically, you're just affecting a center scoreboard of factions, and it's not until the end of the round that your score even comes into play. So who knows what you're going to end up having? Like, you don't know. You can make a good guess, but you don't know until all the cards on the table. So Shadow Throne is interesting in this regard. I feel it's a really nice, fun card game, and it's easy to play with people that aren't necessarily gamers. I'm just really excited about this game, and I'm a little bummed at myself for not, 1, printing it out and playing it sooner, because now I always want to pull it to the table, and 2, for getting this video up so late. The Kickstarter is actually ending soon, and he will probably fund, and I'm really sad to say that he's probably not going to hit the expansions, and the expansions are just amazing. Like, this game, the base game is good and complex, and like, we've had a lot of games out of this, and the replayability is pretty solid. You just add in those expansion factions, and just the replayability is going to go off the freaking charts on this. It's going to be amazing, and I really want I really want to play these expansions, which is why I was like, alright, I have to make a video. I have to make a video like today, no matter what, to try and do what I can to get this game up. And I don't say that a lot on this channel. Like, I don't think I've ever said that on a Kickstarter video.